Ladies and gentlemen, you sit here today adorned in your titles, your aspirations, your doubts, and your triumphs, visible and invisible alike. Some of you wear the cloak of studenthood, stitched with late-night cramming and early morning self-doubt. Others are professionals, tenacious, trembling, torn between ambition and exhaustion. You come from various corners of this complex world, each bearing the weight of expectation, the memory of setbacks, and the desperate hope that someone, somewhere, might truly understand your struggle. Let me tell you this, and I say it not as a scolding elder, nor as a polished orator, but as a witness to truth. Nobody cares. Work hard and focus on you. Now do not mishear my words. When I say nobody cares, I do not mean that the world is without compassion, that your mother's prayers are feigned, or that your friend's encouragement is hollow. I mean that the world is already so full, so terribly full, with noise and yearning, with the endless wail of wants and wounds, that it will not stop spinning for your sorrow. It will not halt for your hesitation. Your suffering may be deep, but the river of time does not stop to peer into your soul. And that is not cruelty. That is life. That is how it has always been, from the first breath to the last sigh. That is the sound of the drum beating in the distance, steady, unchanging, unmoved by who stumbles and who soars. But here is the miracle nestled in the hard truth. If no one is waiting on you, then you are free. You are free from the need for applause, from the trap of comparison, from the sweet poison of validation. If nobody is watching, you can fail loudly. If nobody is counting, you can start again, not once, not twice, but as many times as you must. And oh, how glorious that freedom is. You see, the world owes you nothing, not success, not understanding, not even a second glance. So you must owe it to yourself. You must become the keeper of your own flame. Stoke it with effort, feed it with intention, guard it with discipline. You cannot depend on external fuel, because applause is as fleeting as a falling leaf, because praise may warm the ego, but it cannot build a future, because sympathy, while tender, will not write your thesis, will not lift the weights, will not code the program, will not clock you in when you're too tired to go on, but go on anyway. It is tempting to perform your pain, to lay it bare in curated displays for digital hearts and shallow pity. But healing, real healing, the kind that fortifies the spine and clarifies the mind, does not come from public performance. It comes from silent striving. It comes from sweating alone in the dark, when everyone else is resting, when the cameras are off, when you are forced to choose between numbness and resilience. Choose resilience. Let me tell you a story. There was once a girl, bright-eyed and poor, shuttled from place to place, told she was too quiet, too dark, too damaged to matter. She was not seen by the teachers. She was not embraced by the system. She did not walk into rooms and command awe. But she watched. She listened. She read. She wrote. And when no one answered her questions, she answered them herself. When no one lifted her up, she learned to rise. Slowly, painfully, but inevitably. She did not ask the world for permission to be great. She carved her way with cracked hands and bloody feet. And when people finally saw her, it was too late. She had already seen herself. That girl is every one of you, if you dare to be. I say again, nobody cares. Work hard. Focus on you. Focus, not in the brittle way that burns you out and makes your heart a stranger to your own ribcage, but focus in the way that makes every minute sacred. Focus like a violinist tuning her soul. Focus like a monk kneeling in dusty light. Give your work the reverence of prayer. Give your time the precision of a craftsman. Give your growth the hunger of a tree cracking through concrete. There will be days when the work seems fruitless, when your back aches and your email pings mock you, when others are celebrating wins and you're swallowing loss. But what you do in those moments, those exact moments, separates the someday from the today. It's not talent that builds legacies. It's consistency in the shadows. It's integrity when no one checks. It's the small, boring, brave decisions that compound into something divine. And remember this, even when no one cares, someone is watching. Not for you, but because of you. A child in your neighborhood, a sibling, a stranger on the internet. They are not watching for your perfection. They are watching for your persistence. They are watching to see if survival can look like grace. So walk forward, not to impress, but to inspire, not with your wins, but with your will. Some of you may be in a job that drains you. Some of you may be building dreams that scare you. Some of you are stuck between who you were and who you hope to be. Let me speak directly to that version of you. Keep going. You don't need everyone to clap. You don't need 10,000 likes. You don't need your boss's validation or your ex's regret or your community's understanding. You need your own belief, gritty, stubborn, untamed belief that you matter, that your effort counts, that your purpose is real even if it is not yet profitable, even if it is not yet pretty, even if it is not yet popular, because everything magnificent was once ignored. There is a mountain in you, and not every eye will see it, but that doesn't make it smaller. So climb. Climb when the skies are clear. Climb when the fog is thick. Climb when your legs betray you, and your friends forget you, and the only sound is your breath, and the grind of your soul against the rock of your struggle. And when you reach the summit, not the metaphorical one, but the one that matters to you, the one that you build with blood and grit, plant your flag quietly, smile softly, then start the next climb. Because we are not here to be seen. We are here to become. You do not need to convince the world. You need only convince yourself, daily, steadily, with reverence and repetition. You are allowed to mourn what is hard, but do not drown in it. You are allowed to stumble, but do not stall. You are allowed to feel alone, but do not forget that solitude is often the soil of transformation. In a culture that seduces you with speed and spectacle, choose the slow burn. Choose the sacred work. Choose the kind of progress that doesn't post well, but pays off quietly. Build your mind like a library, your body like a temple, your craft like an altar, and do not wait for someone to crown you. You are already royal, because you choose to keep going. Do not wait for someone to pick you. Pick yourself. Pick yourself again. Pick yourself 1,000 times. And when it feels like too much, rest but with purpose. Rest, not to escape, but to prepare, to reflect, to recalibrate. Even the lion must sleep. Even the earth must pause. Even the stars take turns shining. But when you rise, rise with fire. Rise with the knowledge that you are not owed success, but you can earn it. You are not guaranteed peace, but you can build it. You are not promised love, but you can give it to yourself in action, in effort, in unapologetic attention to your own life. So I tell you again, not to harden your heart, but to sharpen your resolve. Nobody cares. Work hard. Focus on you. Because when the lights go out and the crowds disperse and the world is once again deaf to your dreams, it will be your work that comforts you. It will be your habits that hold you. It will be your choices that define you. And one day, maybe soon or maybe decades from now, someone will look at you, a student, a stranger, a child, and they will say, "How did you become what you are?" And you will smile, not boastfully but bravely. And you will say, "I did not wait. I did not weep for too long. I worked. I worked when it was hard. I worked when it was thankless. I worked when I was tired. I worked when I was invisible. I worked and I focused on me." And that will be enough. And if in this moment you feel the sting of that truth, if your shoulders slump beneath the weight of this quiet gospel, let that feeling wake you, not wound you. Because here is what they don't tell you. The people who made it, the ones you read about, the ones whose names echo in conference halls or history books or household lore, they too knew the silence. They too stood in rooms where no one looked their way. They too doubted, cursed the mirror, fumbled their tasks, missed deadlines, watched others get picked first, again and again and again. They were not special in birth, not uniquely gifted with magic dust. What made them exceptional was not charm, was not luck, was not even timing. It was the deep and daily devotion to becoming. They stayed when others fled. They wrote when others talked. They trained when others boasted. They dared to be faithful, not flashy, consistent, not celebrated. You must make that same choice. This world has little patience for the quiet. It rewards the loud, the performative, the glamorous. But don't mistake attention for worth. Don't mistake a trending moment for a lasting mark. There is a sacredness in obscurity, a power in privacy, a wisdom in the unseen grind. Do not abandon your post just because no one is watching yet. One day they will, but by then you won't need them to. People will ask for your secret. You will smile and give them something soft, something simple, but they will never know the full cost. They will never know the nights you stared at the ceiling asking yourself if you were wasting your life. They will never know the friendships you let fade because your future mattered more than fitting in. They will never know the meals skipped, the weekends sacrificed, the therapy sessions, the panic attacks, the near resignations. They will only see the fruit. They will not understand the root, but you will. And that knowledge, that inner archive of your persistence will be your strength, your compass, your crown. So continue. Though your steps be slow, continue. Though your heart feels hollow some days, continue. Though others leap ahead with shortcuts and surface tricks, continue. What is built slowly, what is forged in discipline and tested in silence, cannot be taken. It is not fragile. It is not dependent on the market, the mood, the masses. It is yours. You must learn to become your own sanctuary, because the world will not pause for your pain. It will not wait for you to heal before demanding your excellence. So you must build excellence from the wreckage. Build confidence not from compliments, but from commitment. Build peace not from ease, but from alignment. Build identity not from others' ideas, but from your own becoming. There is a weight to walking this road, to choosing the harder path, to showing up when you're scared, to starting over when you're tired. And you will wonder, does it matter? Will this count? It does. It will. Because in your quiet striving, you become the kind of person who does not just chase the dream, you become the person capable of holding it. Too many people win things they are not ready for. They rise too fast and fall even faster. But you who are building without applause, you will be ready, because the staircase you are climbing is not just external, it is within. Each step is a muscle of your character, a proof of your patience, a hymn to your resilience. And know this, there will be detours. You will stumble into moments that make you question everything. Illness, heartbreak, betrayal, financial wreckage, loss so unspeakable it folds time. You may be brought low, so low in fact, you cannot see tomorrow. But listen to me carefully now. From the depths of that low, whisper to yourself the oldest truth, I am still here. Sometimes that is all the victory you need. Still here, still standing, still believing in something more than this moment. You will not always be inspired. You will not always feel brave. You will not always know what you're doing. But let that not be the reason you stop. Feeling unqualified is not a prophecy. It is a beginning, and you are allowed to begin again, as many times as it takes. Let the world turn its back if it must. Let the gatekeepers laugh, the algorithms ignore, the employers decline, the trends pass you by. Let all of it pass, because the real gate, the one that leads to a life that is yours and no one else's, that gate opens only when you decide it will. There is a peculiar kind of joy reserved for those who create in the dark. A joy untouched by metrics or market. A joy born of the knowing that this thing you're doing, this book, this business, this skill, this healing, it is real and it is yours, and no one gave it to you, and no one can take it. They say it is lonely at the top. I say it is lonely at every level. If you are doing anything worth doing, you will at some point feel the ache of isolation. Do not mislabel that feeling. It is not rejection, it is confirmation. Confirmation that you are on a path too narrow for the crowd, too sacred for the casual. You cannot bring everyone with you. Not everyone wants to grow. Not everyone wants to do the deep work, the unsexy work, the silent work. Some want comfort more than calling. Some want belonging more than becoming. But you must choose to evolve, even if it means walking alone. You are not here to be understood by everyone. You are not here to explain yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are here to become whole. You are here to become true. You are here to take what you have, whatever it is, and multiply it with care, with craft, with courage. That is the work. And it never ends. But the beauty is that you change as you go. You begin one way, timid, doubtful, small, and with every act of showing up you expand. Your shoulders square, your voice steadies, your hands grow skillful, your soul becomes quiet and strong, until one day you realize you do not need applause. You do not need proof. You are the proof. The seed of greatness was always in you. It did not bloom overnight. It did not bloom from noise. It bloomed from intention, from persistence, from pain transformed. So walk forward now, not because the way is easy, but because the way is yours. Let others chase the spotlight. You chase the light within. Let others mimic success. You master your process. Let others argue their worth. You prove yours through your work. And when they ask you, as they will, how you made it, how you kept going when the odds were stacked, how you built a name without shortcuts or scandals, how you stayed sane in a world so loud and fast and fake, you will say, I learned to focus on me. I let go of needing to be seen. I let go of waiting for approval. I let go of hoping someone would save me. I saved myself. I held myself accountable. I gave myself discipline. I gave myself grace. I stopped performing for the crowd and started building for the future. And though nobody clapped, I kept building. Though nobody cared, I kept showing up. Though nobody thanked me, I stayed the course, and now I live in the house that work built. That house may be made of skills or peace or freedom or healing. It may be a job you love, a business you birthed, a body you reclaimed, a family you nurtured, a self you finally recognize. Whatever it is yours, and you earned it, brick by brick, breath by breath, against the noise, against the odds. So now, as you rise from this speech, as you return to the clatter and chaos of your day, carry this truth like armor. Nobody cares. Work hard. Focus on you. It is not a curse. It is a call to dig deeper, a call to go further, a call to love yourself through the work, through the sweat, through the silence. And when you answer that call, not just once but daily, you become unstoppable. And now we stand at the part of the journey where some of you are wondering if you have the strength to finish. Not just the speech, but the work, the path, the purpose you quietly chose when you could have walked away. You might be asking yourself, how much longer must I wait? How much harder must I push? The road feels long. The progress feels slow. You wonder if maybe it's too late, if maybe you should have arrived by now. But let me offer you this, gently and firmly. Progress does not have a deadline. You do not expire just because others arrive before you. Life is not a race, though it often pretends to be one. It is a becoming, and every person becomes at their own pace. You are not behind. You are in process. The work you are doing, whether it is healing from heartbreak, finishing your degree, building your business, parenting your children, recovering your health, reclaiming your voice, it is sacred, and sacred things take time. The ancient trees did not grow in a season. The pyramids were not built in a year. The ocean did not carve the cliffs in a single storm. And the most unshakable versions of ourselves are not born in moments of ease. They are shaped in the furnace of waiting, of wondering, of waking up again and again despite no guarantee. The world will try to make you rush your art, rush your answers, rush your success. But speed is not the measure of worth. Depth is. And there is a depth in you that has not yet been plumbed, a well of strength that will not reveal itself until you have gone past the point where others turned back. So go further, go deeper. You have not seen all that you are capable of, and understand this too. Working hard is not just about achievement. It is about becoming trustworthy to yourself. You become someone who keeps their word, someone who honors their own effort, someone who follows through, not to prove it to others, but to prove it to the younger version of yourself who once believed this might be possible. When you show up for your work, you show up for your past, present, and future, all at once. And the truth is, no one can want it for you more than you do. No one can carry your dream across the finish line. They can support you, yes, cheer for you, yes, but at the end of the day, it is your sweat that wets the soil, your tears that fertilize the ground, your hands that plant and prune and press on. And when the harvest comes, and it will come, you will taste it differently, because you'll remember all that you sacrificed, all the times you stayed when leaving seemed easier, all the days you worked in silence, all the mornings you rose with no motivation but a quiet conviction, all the nights you stayed late with no reward but a deeper commitment to your goal. And that fruit will not just feed your success, it will nourish your soul. Because success that is earned is not a possession, it is a mirror. It shows you what you're made of. And if you've built it right, not for show, but from soul, that reflection will not fade. Some of you may feel invisible right now. You put in the effort, but no one notices. You try your best, but recognition is reserved for louder voices, shinier stories. I know the ache of that invisibility. But I ask you, would you rather be seen briefly or be solid always? Visibility can be taken away. Solidity cannot. So build yourself into something solid. Build not just your career, but your character. Not just your brand, but your backbone. Because when the storms come, and they will come, it is not your resume that will save you. It is your resilience. It is your roots. And roots, like all sacred things, grow underground. Let your roots grow. Even when no one claps, even when the results are delayed, even when the world distracts you with glitter and noise, stay rooted, stay working, stay humble enough to learn, and bold enough to rise. And if no one says it, let me say it to you now, clearly, without condition. I see your effort. I see the way you keep going. I see the weight you carry, the work you do, the dreams you protect in silence. And I honor it, not with applause, but with truth. It matters. Your quiet striving matters. Your unseen battles matter. Your growth, though slow and personal, and largely internal, matters. And one day you will look back at this season, the season where it felt like no one cared, where you had every reason to quit but you didn't, and you will see that this was the season that defined you, because this was when you became your own reason. This was when you stopped chasing love and started practicing it, beginning with yourself. This was when you stopped performing strength and started building it, brick by bruised brick. You will look back and say, that was when I stopped asking for someone to believe in me. That was when I started believing in myself. It will not be easy. It never is, but it will be worth it. And I promise you, you will not regret working hard. You will not regret focusing on yourself. You will not regret refusing to be swayed by the trends, the critics, or the whims of a world that is addicted to shortcuts. Because in the end, the real victory is not in the prize, it is in the person you become in pursuit of it. Let others compromise. Let others cut corners. Let others settle. You will take the long road. You will take the honest road. You will take the road where you learn, and stumble, and rise fully formed, fully forged. And you will discover something rare, self-respect. Not pride, not ego, but the quiet, calm, unshakable truth that you did not quit on yourself. You held the line, you kept the promise. So now, with every ounce of clarity and compassion in me, I say to you again, nobody cares. Work hard, focus on you, not because you're alone, but because that is the only way you'll ever be free. Free from the need to be rescued, free from the need to be approved, free from the tyranny of external timelines, free from the belief that your value lies in anything other than your effort, your integrity, your unyielding commitment to becoming who you were meant to be. So keep going, keep rising, keep becoming. When the applause comes, and it might, nod your thanks, then return to your work. When the accolades arrive, and they may receive them, but let them not distract you from the discipline that got you there. When the world finally sees what you've become, smile, but remember, the becoming was never for them, it was always for you. And that is enough. If you are still with me now, if your spirit is still leaning forward even slightly, then know this, you are the kind of person who does not turn away when truth is spoken, even if it stings. You are the kind of person who is brave enough to listen all the way through, who stays in the heat of discomfort, because somewhere in you, perhaps quietly, you are tired of illusions and ready for the real. And real is what we've been talking about all along. Not performance, not appearance, not applause, but what it takes to live a life of depth and dignity. What it means to walk into your own becoming, with open eyes and open hands, unguarded, unflinching, because it's tempting to chase the easier thing. It's tempting to find shortcuts and pose as if we've already arrived. And in a world where everyone is projecting their highlight reels, it's easy to believe the lie that struggle means failure, or that pain means you're doing it wrong. But I tell you, the opposite is true. Struggle means you are alive to your purpose. Pain means something inside you is stretching, growing, refusing to stay the same. Growth is not graceful. Becoming is not tidy. Sometimes it looks like waking up with anxiety and still going to work. Sometimes it looks like crying in the shower and then smiling for your children. Sometimes it's deleting the draft and starting again, saying no when you've always said yes, or saying yes when you've always hidden behind no. It's choosing the difficult path because it's the one that's true. So let us stop romanticizing ease. Let us not envy the lives that came cheaply. Let us not yearn for a story that skips the middle, the long, uncomfortable, unglamorous middle, where the real work is done. You are not behind. You are in the middle, and the middle is sacred. It is in the middle that you build the muscle to carry the life you've prayed for. It is in the middle where you lose what does not serve you and find what does. It is in the middle that the outer noise fades, and you begin to hear your own voice. Not the one shaped by fear, or by comparison, or by the expectations of others, but your own. Do you hear it? It's quiet, but it's there. It says, keep going. It says you are not finished yet. It says you are not broken, you are being built. So keep showing up to your work. Keep honoring your own effort. Do not wait for someone else to validate it. Do not wait for applause to give it meaning. Do not wait until you are perfect to be proud of yourself. You are allowed to take joy in your journey, even if it's messy. You are allowed to celebrate every small win, every moment of resistance to your old patterns, every hour of focus you wrestle from distraction. You are allowed to be proud, even when no one notices, especially when no one notices, because you are not working for the crowd. You are working for the quiet knowledge that you are becoming the kind of person who does not abandon themselves. And I say that with reverence, because most people do. Most people get to a hard part of the path and decide they are not worthy of it. They quit, not because they lack skill, but because they lacked faith in themselves. They choose comfort over conviction. They choose short-term praise over long-term growth. But you are still here, and that alone sets you apart. So allow the world to misread you. Allow them to overlook you. Allow them to underestimate the slow miracle of your discipline. Let it be a quiet rebellion, the way you wake up each day and move forward anyway. Because that's what this is, at its core, a rebellion against excuses, a rebellion against self-doubt, a rebellion against the seductive numbness of distraction and despair. You are choosing to care when it's easier not to. You are choosing to believe in a future only you can see. That is brave, that is rare, that is sacred, and it's worth protecting. So protect it. Guard your focus like it is your life, because it is. Guard your time, your energy, your peace, not selfishly, but strategically, because what you are building requires all of you, not your scraps, not your leftovers, your best. And when you give your best, when you offer your effort fully, not for a moment but as a practice, life opens. It opens not with confetti, not with trumpets, but with something quieter, something better, alignment. You begin to feel yourself move in harmony with your purpose. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to feel pride, not in outcomes, but in the integrity of your effort. And that pride, that quiet, clean pride, becomes your fuel. You do not need drama. You do not need chaos. You do not need to prove anything to anyone. You just need to keep going. One more sentence, one more call, one more rep, one more hard conversation, one more morning where you choose to begin again, even though yesterday drained you. That is the work. And one day, someone will ask you how you got here, how you became so grounded, so clear, so capable, so calm in a world that never stops spinning. And you will smile, not because it was easy, but because you remember when it wasn't. You will say simply, I stopped waiting. I started working. I focused on what I could control. I stopped performing and started producing. I stopped looking for affirmation and gave myself permission. And they won't fully understand, not because you didn't explain it clearly, but because some things can't be explained. They can only be lived, and you will have lived it. So my final words to you are not a revelation, but a reminder, a thread running through every line of this speech. You are the project. You are the investment. You are the priority. Not your image, not your status, not your follower count, not your titles. You. So build yourself with care. Build yourself with rigor. Build yourself with tenderness and fire. And when the world is loud, and the nights are long, and the reward feels far, return to the words that carried you here. Nobody cares. Work hard. Focus on you. Not because you're unworthy of care, but because true care must begin from within. And when it does, you won't need the world's attention to feel complete. You'll have your focus. You'll have your integrity. You'll have your peace. And that will be enough. More than enough. And now, as we find ourselves nearing the final folds of this long and deliberate reflection, I ask you to pause. Not to stop, but to steady yourself. Let the weight of all these words settle. Let them touch down gently, like dust on an old shelf that has not been opened in a while. Because we have not spoken tonight merely of effort, or ambition, or striving for the sake of recognition. We have spoken of becoming. We have spoken of honoring the sacred act of work, the quiet, unglamorous, steadfast kind that no one sees but you. And that kind of work deserves more than acknowledgement. It deserves reverence. Somewhere, in your past, perhaps long before this moment, you were given the idea that your value had to be earned in the eyes of others, that you needed to outperform, outshine, outdo, to become someone other than yourself in order to be worthy, that the prize was out there, far away, in the distance, that you had to chase it. But I offer you something different now. Not a new idea, but an ancient truth. You were already enough before you were noticed. You were already worthy before the world had an opinion about your life. What you're chasing is not completion. What you're chasing is the courage to fully inhabit who you already are. And courage, beloved, is not loud. It does not announce itself with flashing lights or winning moments. It speaks in whispers. It takes root in silence. Courage is choosing to face another day of uncertainty without abandoning your discipline. Courage is waking up in the middle of disappointment and still putting your hands to the task. Courage is trusting that your effort is not wasted, even when the reward delays its arrival. We must stop worshiping instant results. We must stop making gods out of overnight success stories, because those stories do not tell the whole truth. They do not show the grind beneath the glory. They do not show the rejections, the doubt, the hours no one celebrated. But you know those hours. You live in them. And that's what makes you different. The honest ones, the ones who endure, the ones who rise without needing to be carried. They do not bloom for the sake of the observer. They bloom because blooming is their nature. And you, whether you know it yet or not, are blooming. The soil of your life may have been hard. The climate may have been unkind. But look at you, still growing, still reaching, still turning your face toward whatever light you can find. That is more than survival. That is triumph. And I know some of you carry wounds that no one can see. I know you show up in rooms and smile when you're still healing from the last disappointment, the last betrayal, the last time you tried and it didn't work. I know there are parts of you that still ache, still wonder if this is all in vain. But hear me clearly, it is not. There is no wasted effort when it comes from a place of integrity. There is no wasted work when it aligns with your truth. Even when it fails in the world's eyes, even when it falters and falls short and must be rebuilt, it is not wasted, because you were shaped by it, because you endured it, because you did not quit when quitting would have been easy. And that is something no one can take from you. You do not owe the world your perfection. You owe it your presence. You owe it your commitment to the real work, the work of building character, the work of refining your vision, the work of standing firmly in yourself when the world asks you to shrink. And make no mistake, the world will ask you to shrink. It will ask you to make yourself smaller, quieter, more digestible, more convenient. It will ask you to give up your focus for the cheap high of approval. It will ask you to abandon your inner knowing in exchange for shallow validation. But you must not oblige, because what you are cultivating cannot survive in shallow soil. What you are building cannot grow where the roots are not allowed to stretch. So let them stretch. Let yourself outgrow the limits you once accepted. Let yourself exceed even your own expectations. Let yourself step into a vision that others may not understand, because it was not given to them, it was given to you, and with that gift comes responsibility. The responsibility to protect it, to feed it, to show up for it, day after day, whether or not the world watches. The people who create legacies, who live lives of deep meaning, who walk with peace and purpose, they are not the loudest, they are not the trendiest, they are not the most followed or the most famous. They are the ones who stayed faithful to their path. They are the ones who chose depth over display. They are the ones who kept their promises, not just to others but to themselves. So if you are waiting for someone to give you permission, let this be it. If you are waiting for someone to tell you it's not too late, let this be it. If you are waiting for someone to remind you that you matter, even when no one is clapping, let this be it. You matter. Your work matters. Your growth matters. And even when the world does not care, even when it is indifferent or distracted or dismissive, you can still care. You can care more, not less. You can care with more intention, more resilience, more wisdom. Because when you care deeply about your own becoming, when you take full responsibility for your development, your healing, your habits, then the world's indifference loses its power. You are no longer chasing approval. You are moving from purpose. And that is a far stronger force. So go forward with that force. Let it guide your decisions. Let it shape your discipline. Let it anchor you when life becomes loud and uncertain. And remember, this journey, this long, hard, beautiful, imperfect journey, will not reward you with constant comfort. It will not always feel good. But it will shape you into someone you respect. And that respect, that hard-won inner respect, is worth more than anything the world can give. Because when you respect yourself truly, deeply, you stop betraying your own standards just to fit in. You stop bending your light just to make others comfortable. You stop giving up your peace just to avoid discomfort. You begin to live aligned. You begin to live clear, and clarity is its own reward. So walk in that clarity now. Walk in it not just today, but tomorrow, and the day after that, and in every moment when the work feels lonely. Walk in it when doubt whispers. Walk in it when fear clings. Walk in it when the results stall. And let this be the song you carry in your heart, the drumbeat beneath your stride, the compass you return to again and again. Nobody cares. Work hard. Focus on you. And do not say it with bitterness. Say it with grace. Say it not as an indictment of the world, but as a liberation from needing its constant approval. Say it as a truth that sets you free, because you are not waiting for someone to believe in you anymore. You have become the one who believes. You have become the one who shows up. You have become the one who endures. And that, in the end, is everything. Thank you.